Get us pumped. Get us pumped!
Let's go!
Get us pumped.
Let's go!
We're here.
What week is it?
We're here.
What week is it?
Wildcard week.
Wildcard week.
It's the wild card week, baby. It's the wild card week. All right.
Let's get it.
We're at the point, right? We're actually a week past it where you can now use your second wild card. And we felt as a combined team, put all three of our brains together, we would come up with a wild card team that we will explain who we picked, why we picked them. You can use any of that information for yourself in your own wild card. And we're excited. We had fun putting this together, I think, right? Well, Phil didn't have fun, but I had fun, and Dave had fun.
Did you, Dave? Yeah.
Well, I had fun.
Sean kind of just dictated what he wanted our team to look like.
So it turns out that our wildcard team is very similar to my normal team, which just means I'm great. So that's all that really means. So Dave.
I don't know why we put up with him, but I guess
Dave,
we do.
let them know our team. Tell them who we're playing this week, and then we'll walk through each player, and we'll talk about why we picked them.
Here's our team.
God, you guys, man.
Here is our team.
Come on.
Goalkeepers, we went with Verbruggen and Sells. Defenders, Lewis Hall, Milos Kerkez, Munoz, Milenkovic, and Greaves. Midfield, Anthony Gordon, Mo Salah, because duh. Cole Palmer, Brian Mbumo, and Amad Diallo. And up front, Chris Wood, Alexander Isak, and João Pedro.
Bang, bang.
Now, starting lineup. We're starting Verbruggen in goal against Ipswich.
Week 21, right?
Yes.
Game week. This is
Game
for
week
21, everyone.
Verbruggen in net against Ipswich. Hall, Kerkez, and Munoz on D. Gordon, Salah, Palmer, and Mbumo in the midfield. And Wood, Isak, and João Pedro up front.
Abso-freaking-lutely. All right.
I don't know. I'm not that confident in it, but we'll see what
we are
Fireside
gonna.
boys
It's gonna be
put
good.
together.
All right. So we're gonna start off. We're just gonna go from the back line all the way to the front. So I'm gonna start off with goalies. Dave said we picked up Verbruggen. We picked up Sells. So Verbruggen's at a 4.5 million price. We look at him as having a really good schedule for game week 21, and then we are gonna use Sells at 4.9 million. As an in-between guy until Verbruggen gets to game week 26 where he gets Southampton, Bournemouth, and Fulham. So essentially what we're going to do is we're playing Verbruggen this week. Then we're going to switch Sells, who is the best goalie right now in FPL, right? Forest defense is unbelievable. He has the most points. We're going to switch him back in weeks 22 to 25. And then we're going to bring Verbruggen back in weeks 26 to 28. At that point, we will decide what we want to do. I think we can all probably agree Sells is just a guy you keep for the rest of the season. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, I would imagine most people have him at this point. Let's see. He is owned. He's actually only owned 13.3%. That's surprising. But he's our favorite goalie.
I think the one thing people don't realize about Sells is even though they do have a lot of clean sheets, they concede a lot of shots on target. So if you compare him to someone like Raya, who's one of the other obvious options for clean sheets, Raya never gets those save points, and he rarely gets it into the bonus point system because he doesn't get saves. On the other hand, Sells is continuously getting 3 to 7 saves, getting those save points, and making it into the bonus point system. I think he did, obviously, last week and over the last few weeks. So you get those additional points on top of the clean sheet. So he's...
Yeah, I mean, Nottingham Forest has the most clean sheets in the Premier League right now. Yeah. So
4 in a row.
4 in a row.
9 overall, I believe.
Quattro. Yeah.
For all you Spanish speakers.
No, Foomf is 5.
That also means 4. Quattro.
Foomf is 5. I'm an idiot.
That's German.
Vier.
You're switching up all your numbers.
4.
Switch up your languages. Vier. So yeah, those are the goalies we went with. We think they're pretty safe. If you're going to go with goalies, right, the best strategy is we believe the best strategy is cheap goalies are good. Pick 2 goalies that are going to allow you to get through, an 8 to 12 week stretch, putting them in and out of your lineups, right? So you want to play matchups. Yeah. You're looking for, first and foremost, you're looking for shutouts. Second, on your point, you're looking for a lot of saves. So
don't want to be using transfers on goalies a lot.
No, absolutely not.
No, Papa.
Absolutely not. Okay, so that was goalies, and then next up we go defenders.
Is that me?
Philip's our defensive wizard.
I thought I was midfielders. Whoops.
You're a defensive wizard, my guy.
So our theme for defenders, I'll keep it short and sweet and quick. Just make me in bed.
No comments. I heard what he said. It took me a second. I was thinking it. I just wasn't going to say it. That's okay.
We said none of the studs for their price points, for their kind of overall returns on the difference in FPL points compared to some of these other guys. Probably not worth the money. You can use the money kind of in the midfield position or forward. So we went with Hall from Newcastle. I think that's an obvious choice. Attacking return potential, and Newcastle outside of 3 game weeks has a really, really solid run of fixtures. We went with Kirkez, Bournemouth left back, and just Bournemouth being a good defending team, and he is getting attacking returns as well. He's a cheap price point.
They're very hot on defense.
Very
right
hot
now.
on defense.
4 shutouts in the last 7.
We have Munoz, who basically plays as a right forward. So why not have him?
Very good in the expected goals and expected assists.
Yeah.
He's got that Lewis 5 to him, which a lot of people love.
I
I
think
know.
Palace is trending up.
And their run of fixtures is really good.
Dave is a big Palace believer, if no one's caught on to that by now.
We had to throw in a forced defender. We went with Milenkovic just because he's a little cheaper than Ina, but he has higher expected goals than someone like Murillo, so he kind of fits both sides of things. And then kind of to open up some cap space or funds for other positions, we did go with Greaves on Leicester, probably. Ipswich, sorry. I was thinking of FaZe.
Don't do Ed Sheeran like that. Come on.
Again, probably will never play him. Sits at the back of our bench. But again, these guys are that kind of under 5 million, middle 4 to 5 million that do have the clean sheet potential on top of attacking returns. They've proven it over the last stretch of game weeks. So I'm pretty excited about that kind of rotation ability too.
I think like you said, Phil, we agreed. I think we all have the same mindset on how we want our defenders to look. We want cheap guys that have some offensive ability, right? That's what we're looking for. We weren't interested in the Gabriels, the Van Dijks. Like, that wasn't our vibe, because we want to spend our money on the really important positions, which are obviously midfield at the moment, I think, is probably most important, and then forward secondarily.
Plus, we still got defenders that are producing. Kirkez, Hall, and Milenkovic are all in the top 7 in scoring for defenders. Milenkovic's tied for second. He's got the same number of points as Trent. Trent's 2.5 million more.
Yeah.
Kirkez has the same amount of points as Van Dijk. So,
and they can still get clean sheets. It's not only about the attacking potential.
And Munoz is a little ways down the list, but like we said, his attacking underlying numbers are really good. So.
Yeah, and Phil mentioned it before we started, but if before the season, who would have guessed that Newcastle and Forest are some of the best defenses in all of the EPL, and that allows you to go pick up these cheap guys, because no one thought you were going to get these cheap options like a Hall, right, like an Ina, and here they are just producing week in, week out. So, cool. Midfielders, David.
So, to recap, I mean, we went with Mo Salah because, like you kind of have to take him.
Mo Salah is on pace.
He's the king, baby.
He is on pace to tie Haaland's goal record from 2 years ago, 36 goals in a season, which is wild.
Probably a lot more assists.
I don't know the assist number offhand. I just know his goal count. I think he's 1 goal behind the pace right now.
We also went with Cole Palmer. After our cheap defense, we had some money to spend in the midfield. So Palmer was the next logical choice. After him, this is where the debates started between the three of us. So we ended up with Anthony Gordon, Brian Mbeumo, and Amad Diallo. Originally, we wanted Bruno Fernandes.
We didn't all want him.
1.5.
Daddy wanted him.
Daddy wanted him.
If you're wondering, Daddy
9 returns in 10 games is Phil number 1 in our mini league.
Phil changing his nickname from El Matador to Daddy.
Daddy.
Papa
like
El Matador.
Daddy Matador.
Daddy Matador.
There you
go. Given what we did up front, we had to cut somebody out of the midfield to save money, so we went down from Bruno to Diallo, which saved us 3 million even. Bruno and Diallo have had similar returns throughout the year. We've been talking about Ahmad on the pod for Ahmad on the pod.
Ahmad on the pod. He
As
should.
if you didn't do that on purpose.
Once he
didn't.
retires, he should.
Ahmad on the pod.
Ahmad on the pod.
We have that copyrighted,
Yeah.
so talk to us before you try that.
Throw some moolah.
Yeah.
We've been talking about him for a while. We like him. He's still really cheap. Seems to be one of the key players in United's attack. Anthony Gordon, we talked about the Newcastle guys on the episode. They're in form right now. Him, Hall, and Isak are probably their most in-form players, and they're all on our team. And Brian Mbumo has kind of been the driving force for Brentford pretty much the whole season.
Yep.
So we had to drop one of Gordon, Mbumo, and Bruno, and unfortunately, Bruno is the man to go.
I think form-wise, it's like Newcastle is the hottest offense in the EPL right now, and like you said, Mbumo is just a guy that all season long, he's third in points for midfielders. It's just all season he's been doing it. So it was really hard to not put him on the team, but you were going to say?
I was just going to say, I think the only guy that obviously could never fit, that I wish we could have fit in somehow, again, would be Rodgers. I think he's just such an incredible asset at 5.5, but we just couldn't, obviously, in any way.
Yeah, I mean, so, like they said, we had Mbumo, Palmer, Salah, Ahmad, and Gordon, but like the two guys right below them for us that we really could have seen ourselves putting in our team was a Morgan Rogers and a Bruno Fernandes, right? Or Eze. But I think, if we didn't go with Ahmad,
thanks, Phil.
If we didn't go with Ahmad, we would have went with a Bruno Fernandes. But, I think we agreed we didn't want two Manchester United midfielders on the team.
No.
Dave definitely agreed on that one. But yes, I will say Dave also, Eze was another option for us. So I think those three guys were the next ones that we were interested in. After that, I mean, if we were looking at someone, it was probably for money reasons. We weren't really interested in any other midfielders after those guys.
The goals are coming for Eze. Telling you.
Say that
maybe
every
we'll
week.
transfer him in for Gordon in a few weeks.
Maybe the goals are also coming for Semenyo on 79 shots.
Okay, don't do my boy Eze like that.
We went with your team, Sean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give us some grace.
This is democracy.
We know you're
we
the
voted.
You forced us to vote. This is
It's your right. It's your right as a Fireside member.
You were like,
it's your God-given right.
You're like, Phil, you're voting for this guy, right?
It's your Sean given right
It's like
Sean
to vote.
It's like, what's that? It's like we're on not Lost. What's that show? It is Lost, right? Where they do it's like a game show, like a reality show.
You mean
Survivor. It's like
Lost is like the TV.
It's like Survivor. It's like I'm whispering in your ear, like, "Hey, come on, we're gonna vote." Right? And then I'm like, Dave. I mean, we're definitely voting Phil off, right? I'm just playing the mind games here.
Everyone at home knows the real you.
Anyway,
that's fine.
Back to relevance. Salah, Palmer, and Mbumo, Gordon, and Diallo is our midfield, and we like that.
Yeah,
I think we like that.
I think it's probably one of the staple midfields right now with the wild card.
I don't think there's too many surprises there. Ahmad's probably the biggest surprise, but I think midfield right now is one of the biggest ways you're going to get points at the moment, with Haaland slightly coming back, but not where we thought he'd be. Like, midfield is where you're making a lot of your points right now. Cool. So, last but not least, we got forwards. So the forwards we went with were Chris Wood, who is my favorite player currently, Isak, who is the most in form, I would say, forward, not player. I think Salah takes that spot, but most informed forward, second best player right now. And then João Pedro, who was more on the budget-friendly side. So we went with, like I said, Isak, hottest player in EPL. Like Dave said, for Salah, right? He's the guy right now. He looks very dangerous. That entire team looks dangerous. I mean, he just looks like he's going to score every minute of every game. I feel like he's all over the place. So that was a no-brainer. Wood, he continues to outperform his ex-FPL and his ex-involvement, right? His involvement numbers are pretty low, but he gets one touch on the ball. It's almost like the ultimate, I don't want to call him a poacher because he has more than that, but the ultimate guy at getting a touch, putting it in the net, right? Yep. That's what he's doing right now. On pace to smash his goal record from last year of 14. Here he has 12 after week 20. And I think we all agree Forest is not a pretender. We're at a point in the season where I think we all believe that Forest is a legit team. I think they're going to continue to compete in the top 4 for a UCL spot next year. So we like Chris Wood. I like Chris Wood. Let me be clear about that. That's one of my favorite picks. I'll stand behind that one. I wanted Chris Wood, so we went with him. I think, if we weren't going to go with him, we were thinking about a guy like Nicholas Jackson was one of our options. Who else were we thinking about? We had another guy on that list. Raul Jimenez.
Raul Jimenez, because Fulham has a good schedule over the next 3 weeks. We would have considered Yohan Visa, but they play City, Liverpool, and Spurs 3 of the next 4 games. So
don't want to double up.
Tough schedule there. And just to put it out there, right? Wood does have Liverpool in week 21. That is going to be a tough matchup. I think we still believe he has an opportunity to get a goal. Might not be pretty, but he has an opportunity to get one. But then after that, he gets Southampton, Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham. So
it's a hell of a stretch.
Yeah, we like that run of play, especially for Forest. So, that was one of the main reasons we went with Wood. Obviously, his price is still pretty nice, too. $6.4 million for a guy in the top 5 points-wise for forwards. I think he's number 3. Haaland, Isak, him, pretty sure is the order right now. Points for the season. So that's why we went with him. And then João Pedro is where it was another one of the spots where we had some debate on who we wanted to go with. So, João Pedro and Raul Jimenez, those were our 2 budget options that we were between. I think, for me personally, I liked João Pedro, 1, because he's had 2 good games in a row, and 2, their schedule is very friendly. They get Ipswich away, Man U away, Everton home, Forest away, which is a tough game. Then they get Chelsea, never know with that defense, Southampton, Bournemouth, Fulham, right? So not a terrible schedule going forward. So I think that's one of the reasons we went with him. But the guy we were really, really wanting was Nicky J.
Nicky J. Sorry, buddy.
As in Nicholas Jackson. We really were interested in Nicholas Jackson because I think, we thought he was a good differential pick, right? Not a lot of people have him. He's being dropped a lot after a poor run of play. The main issue with him is that price tag is still very high. What is it at?
8.1, and we couldn't make it work with.
Couldn't make it work. I think we decided, midfield was more important to us than having, a forward that we believe in going forward, but we just don't know what we're going to get. So we made the executive decision to save and get João Pedro, who we still think can produce. But, if we don't want to play him, we won't, because we have 5 midfielders that we do believe in, that we can play week in, week out. So it was really a strategy thing for us there. That's it. That's our team. That's who we went with. I don't know. We feel like that's a pretty strong team. Not a lot of surprises. I think our defense is one of our stronger aspects that's going to differentiate us from other people.
I think the other thing is we picked a lot of PK takers. So our 3 forwards are number 1 on PK, Salon Palmer as well, and Bumo, so 6. So obviously that's been a theme this season, so it's always good to have that as well on top for each of your players.
It's definitely a great point. Having PK guys is very, very helpful. I mean, Palmer, one of the reasons he's doing so well this season, we know he's a talented player, but he gets a lot of PKs. Yeah. Salah, we know he's a talented player. He gets a lot of PKs.
You could say that for the 6 of them.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons.
Except maybe Saka's the only one who doesn't stand out for PKs.
These aren't like Haaland types where he's scoring goals. That's where he's getting most of his points. These guys are getting a lot of stuff from set piece. That's a great point. We felt like PK opportunities is a massive reason to pick players. We also looked a lot at schedules, right? We didn't want to run into a situation where we pick a bunch of players because we like the name or we like the form they're in right now, and then in 2 weeks we're like, crap, they're playing Liverpool, they're playing Arsenal, they're playing whoever it is. So that was another one of our strategies that we went with. Anything else from you two?
No, that's pretty much it. I like it. I like that we went cheap on defense.
Yeah, I think it's well-rounded. It's a team you expect to get some sort of return from every player. So then it's up to obviously
Yeah.
a little bit of luck if they actually produce. But it's not like you're starting guys where it's like, oh, he'll probably just get his minute points.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
And, at the prices that we got these guys, we still have 1.3 million in budget. So we have a little bit of room to work with as we go forward. If there's, someone we want to switch in or switch out, we left ourselves a little bit of budget, which is nice. This is the team that we are going to be putting out on our socials going forward. This is the team that we are going to be focusing on and putting out there for everyone to see kind of the moves we're making.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, guys.
Let's go.
Hey, come on. Fireside FPL, baby. We're going to finish, top 5?
In the world?
Yeah,
We're going to spot everyone 20 games. And just
No, I'm talking this upcoming week. Game week rank. 5.
5th overall.
5th overall.
For sure.
I think that makes sense.
I mean, I think I'm being kind of nice. I didn't say 1. Jesus.
Yeah, we're being humble.
We should
stay
probably tell them if we're captaining Isak or Salah.
See, that's a great point. Why don't you take it?
If only we had Bruno to captain.
Yeah, I know.
Let them know.
But so collectively we decided, so Salah is at Forest, Isak is home against Wolves. We are going with Alexander Isak, which has the potential to make us look really dumb. But like we said, he's on fire. Much better matchup. Forest, one of the best defensive teams in the league. So we're going Alexander Isak.
Swedish Slim Jim.
The Swedish Slim Jim. That's amazing. Oh, God. Okay.
It's our boy.
He is
I'm gonna
he
use
is a
that.
tall and lanky fellow.
I'm using that for now on.
Swedish Slim
The
Jim.
Swedish
It's kind of a
Slim
tongue
Jim.
twister, though, so.
We'll figure it out. I'm going to practice.
I'm glad that came out smoothly.
I'm going to practice it. All right. Well, that's the episode. We are going to be back here. Not same time, but we will be back here next week to look back at Game Week 21, look forward to Game Week 22. Our normal programming. We'll be doing our normal episode.
Maybe see how our team did.
Yeah, we could talk about our 5th place finish in the world. So that'll be good.
Talk
Absolutely.
about some of the chips, potential uses.
Some strategies. And if you're out there, make sure to subscribe, comment, like the video. It's free.
the video. Gosh darn it.
It's free and it really helps us out. We really appreciate it. Follow us on X and Instagram, our socials,
Twitter.
to get more information. It's X, but that's
Twitter.
I don't want to confuse people. You're confusing people.
It's Twitter.
It's Twitter.
To get more information, where we put out different posts about our team, about other teams, about all different things, some fun things. So check that out. And with that,
That was a wild card of a ride.
see ya.
See ya.
Bye.